So following on from the new features with Copilot, I'll be talking to you about that a bit later on, and hopefully provide some demos of what it's actually capable of as well. We'll get the slightly more humdrum stuff out of the way initially, which is more about the Canvas apps and the benefits to us as your business partner for creating these Canvas apps for you. It just makes us more efficient when working with them. Essentially, it allows us to operate in a co-authored space. So rather than just one developer having access to building a Canvas app for you, we can now have two developers, or me as a project manager or something like that, with the developer in the same space at the same time, working collaboratively together. It's not so exciting for end users, but for us it's very exciting because it just opens it up to a more collaborative working environment across experience group, which just makes us more efficient, which is nice. The fact that we can now actually get into the source code of a lot of these Canvas apps too, and post some of that stuff over to GitHub, reuse code if we need to from other projects. Again, that's efficiency savings from our side. It's essentially a nice feature for devs to have. If you do dip into the development space, or you have had a look at Canvas apps yourself, maybe with a colleague, this new functionality is going to be quite helpful. You have to switch it on. I haven't included steps on how to do that necessarily in here, but we can provide information on how to do that if you ever did want to. Moving on to the next slide. So we've got some end user model driven app enhancements. The first one I want to tell you about is within Power Pages. Microsoft have given you a much easier way to just sort of drag and drop files into a Power Page. Whereas before you used to have to press on a button, press browse and go and browse to a file. Now you can just drag and drop stuff over into the Power Page, which is a lot easier to use. They've also increased the file upload allocation so that they can upload much larger files. So if a customer's got a great big PDF, that's fine. It will be able to accept that. Previously, you were very limited on the size of files that could be dropped in. The other big benefit is the governance of data security, basically, or masking of data. Some of you guys will log certain sensitive pieces of information into your database that you don't want every man and his dog seeing, even if they work for you. Bank account numbers, sensitive information, whatever it is. You did have access to this functionality previously through field security, but it was a bit of a pain to set up. So what Microsoft have done is they've leaned more into the whole security by default model, meaning a lot of these fields will be secured by default unless you say otherwise. What it allows you to do is it allows you to share out certain masked data depending on who they are at the organization and whether they've got any business looking at that information. For example, if they are the owner of a record, maybe they should be able to see that info. Everyone else might be able to see header information but not specific info like bank account number and whatnot. So masking data in the database, making it more private, has been a focus for them, and it's become a lot easier to be able to do that. And you can see at the top here what it does is essentially it stars out certain fields if you haven't got access to it. There's data there, but you can't see it. There's one that I'm going to do a bit of a demo on, but I'll just give you a bit of a summary now. It's a long time coming, but you can now group data in Power Platform. This functionality is in there now. So if you were to go into your system after this demonstration, you should have access to this. And if not, you can get in contact with us and we can give you a hand. What it lets you do is within a view, it lets you actually group certain pieces of common information together and then provide totals and costs. What I'll do is I'll just demo that for you now so you can see it. It won't take long. So I've created a very quick mock-up environment, my demo environment. You can see here we've just got some basic entities on the left-hand side: accounts, contacts, info packs, which is a custom entity, activities, and Copilot. If I go over into info packs, just to give you a bit of spiel on what an info pack might be, an info pack may have been requested by a customer to garner more information on a product that you sell. So in our case, I mean, it's easiest just to apply to our own business. We sell MIT, Dynamics CRM, Infor CRM. We also sell Sage CRM, which actually isn't in that list at the moment. And then, we might want to mark whether it's been fulfilled, whether it's still outstanding, and then how much each of these info packs cost us to generate. Now, so far, so easy. The first major benefit is the fact that you can actually just click and drag fields around in this interface now. All right, previously you couldn't do that. You used to have to go to your edit columns and then move them up and down in there. You can still do that, but the point is it's just a lot easier just to move things around in your view if that's what you want. The core benefit here is now if you click on a field that you can quantify, so for instance, info pack type, click up there, you'll have this new feature that says group by. Select that and it will actually sort those common fields into certain groupings. So we've got 4 dynamic CRM, 1 info, 2 SQL, and 1 MIT. Look over on the cost column though, you can see it's still blank at the moment, even though we have got some costs there. The reason for that is because we've not told the cost column how we want it to calculate the figures. If we click over onto cost, head over to totals, we've got average, maximum, minimum, or indeed sum. Most of the time, it will probably be sum that you want to be working with. If you select sum, you can see it actually gives you a count up how much each of these categories are actually costing us. So Dynamic CRM, we spent £20 on generating info packs, and these are the details of those info packs. For Microsoft SQL, we've got quite an expensive info pack there, and if we drop that down, we can see there was a £400 one and a £10 one. And then at the bottom, we've got a sum. You know, how much is all of this added up? If I was to move that over to how much does it cost us on average, it will give you averages. So that Microsoft SQL one has now gone down because there's 2 in there, one at £400, one at 10. So it gives you the average between the 2. And then there's the average, £60.75 for an info pack. Minor enhancement, but you know, this was a long time coming, and I think it's, you know, you guys have got this now. Use it. The only restriction that you've got on this is you cannot group by lookup fields. All right, so if you've got a lookup like this guy here, you'll see there's no group by option because fulfilled by is a lookup to the user table. All right, but whenever you've got, you know, a simple field, we can group it by that simple field. Okay, and there's fulfilled and pending. If we've got a date field, we can group that and we can say group it by year, by quarter, by month, by week, or by day. Yeah, very, very handy feature this.